Cellular respiration begins in the flower. Inside of the flower, there are many mitochondria. Here, glycolysis begins. That's good. Suddenly, Juggernaut comes in and ATP and throws up his phosphate spinach all over the glucose, which causes it to change shape. Was that alright?
Our story continues as the ATP, also known as Juggernaut, separates from its spinach and attaches to the glucose, which changes the glucose shape. It happens twice. And now the Juggernaut turns into ADP, also known as Bill Cosby. Since the phosphate came with the glucose, the hydrogen separates from the glucose and now goes to the NADPH. And the NADPH takes away the hydrogen and it's gone now. As the process continues, the phosphate detaches from the glucose and goes to the ADP of Bill Cosby. By doing this, it turns into Juggernaut. But remember, there are two pieces of glucose, so there will be two Juggernauts. From the separation of the glucose and the formation of the ATP, water is formed. Now, two ADPs, Bill Cosby, grabs the phosphate spinach, takes it away, and forming two ATPs. By doing this, you have two pyruvates. The two pyruvates go into the mitochondria. While doing so, they lose its CO2. NADP plus dragon comes along, takes the hydrogen ion, making the two pyruvates into coenzyme A. All of this happens in the mitochondria, thus creating the citric acid cycle. As the beginning of the citric acid cycle, coenzyme A comes into the city, losing a H2O, and then also losing CO2. NADP plus comes in as the dragon takes away the three hydrogen ions, and they're no longer to be found for now. Coenzyme A is there, and then the Juggernaut is formed, ATP, adding a phosphate. Bad comes and takes away the two hydrogens, leaving the coenzyme A lonely. Water comes along and does its thing. NADP comes along and takes away a hydrogen. This ends the citric acid cycle. Per glucose from the citric acid cycle. 4 Juggernaut ATP sweaty steroidal juggernauts are formed. Now, moving on to the oxidative phosphorylation step. Henry the Hydrogen is back to his journey. The electron transport chain, Spider-Man, takes away the electron, which are Henry's glasses. In the membrane, Spider-Man, electron transport chain, creates a gradient by pumping the electrons out of the membrane. Henry the Hydrogen comes down and rubs the lamp, which is ATP synthase, which creates Bill Cosby ADP, which combines with eating his spinach and getting the electron glasses, which makes Juggernaut. With the combination of glycosis, the citric acid cycle, and the oxidative phosphorylation, 32 or 34 ATP juggernauts are produced.
Was that good?